Good afternoon, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my contemplative time has been very focused on the ideas of the mind, the body, the intellect, and of course, a lot of people know that in a spiritual direction, we don't really, well, we often think of this line, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it says, I am not the body, I am not the mind. And this is a very important concept when we're looking deeper into spirituality. And this idea is pretty easy to understand, right? So I know that I'm not my body. When something is happening to my body, I know that it's happening to my body, but it's not I that is feeling hurt if I get an injury, right? It's my body that feels hurt. Similarly, with our emotions, I know that I'm not my mind, but my mind feels those emotions, right? So it's kind of interesting. So how do I know that I'm not my mind? Because my emotions change. One minute I'm really happy about this is happening, another minute I'm really not happy that that's happening. And so we know that this is changeable, and I am not changeable. I actually experience both of those experiences, right? So I know that I'm not my mind. Then we've got the intellect, and the intellect does a little bit of weighing things out and uses a little bit of reasoning. And if we think about mind responses and sometimes it's reactions, people work from this instinctive space. So if this happens, then I'm really happy. And if this happens, I'm really not happy, right? So that sort of idea. If I don't even think about it, it just happens, right? So this thing happened, it just lifts my spirits, and it just happens so naturally, and it's related to an emotion. And if something happens, that really doesn't make me happy, and I'm so down when that happens, right? So I'm aware of this, but it's the intellect that starts showing me this, that, when this happens, yeah, you don't feel so good. And so if you respond this way, it's better than reacting, because the reaction then creates that sort of response on the other side, or reaction from the other side. Or we can say that, when this happens, I react this way, and that's kind of neat about me. So even the pat on the back, if that's neat about me, that I can be happy in this situation, is the intellect as kind of that judge and kind of gauging how we respond and how we think about how we're responding. So in this way, this is the body, mind, and intellect. And remember, even the intellect changes, right? So today I know this, and this is how I do this, because I know that when I speak to this person this way, then they respond this way. But tomorrow I spoke to the person the same way, but they responded a different way. Now my intellect has new information that, wow, it doesn't work each time, right? So that sort of idea. So I thought I'd share a couple of quotes with you and just expand on this idea a little bit. The first quotation is by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, and this quotation says, "Nobody suffers in a play unless one identifies himself with it. Don't identify yourself with the world and you will not suffer." And this is such a deep concept to think of in this time. And I'm going to try to walk you through this thought again, because again, now we've understood that I'm not my body, because my body experiences things, but I experience the pain on different parts of my body. So let's say, today my hand hurts, tomorrow my head hurts, today my whole body feels great, but all of that is happening in my body. I'm not my body, because I am the same. I'm the same person who felt the pain. I'm the same person who feels the great feelings in the body. So that's still me. So I'm not the body. And then I'm not the mind, because that's also changeable, right? So when we say that one minute, this person is really happy, and one minute they're really sad, and that's all of us, right? So anything, our minds change constantly. We think a million thoughts a day, or it seems like a million, but many hundreds, thousands of thoughts per day. And it's always changeable, right? But I am noticing all those changes when I take time to notice, right? So even if I'm feeling not so good today, I can sit and think and know that this will pass, because I know there's times where my mind feels really good. And so that sort of thing. Then my analytical mind comes in, which is the intellect, which would say, oh, you feel good because it's such a sunny day, and what a beautiful day to be out, and that's why you feel good. That gives me a reason, right? So when it's cloudy, then I can say that, oh, it's cloudy, so I'm not so happy. And people do this, right? So people do this in all sorts of ways. Some people will look into astrology and say, oh, my sign's supposed to have a great day today, and I do have a great day. I am having a great day. I know this is going to be a fantastic day, right? So we can already feed our minds with that thought and then make it our reality. The same thing can happen if someone learns about, they've got a prediction in their astrological chart of, oh, this is not a good month for me, and I'm noticing it. This went wrong, that's right, all of these things. And so we start looking at these things and start creating these thoughts, which then create our experience. Now, in terms of things that we can control, remember that we also are a soul, right? So we have a body, we have a mind, we have our intellect, but we are a soul. So this soul energy is consistent and stable, and it's the one that's watching everything else, but also providing energy to it. Now, the interesting thing that's happened in the human evolution is what does happen is the soul energy attaches itself to its experience. So either as a body, so it's like, oh, I feel not good, right? So whatever is feeling not so good, it's my body doesn't feel so good, but I'll say I don't feel so good, right? So I could be sick to my stomach and I would say I don't feel good, right? Or I could feel mentally restless. It's like my mind is not feeling good, but most people won't say their mind. They'll say I don't feel so good. I feel really restless. I can't just focus my mind. There's something going on. Like I can't settle this mind, right? But most of the time it is, I am not settled, right? Because we start attaching. So as a soul, I can attach to the body, I can attach to the mind, I can attach to feelings and experiences, and I can attach to the intellect. Well, I know I feel that way because this happened and then this happened. So obviously, that's obvious, right? And what's not obvious is the soul behind it that's seeing everything with the same consistency. So whether good times or not good times, there is this observer that's just witnessing everything that's going on. And this is an interesting awareness for us to be in, because this too, the soul gets attached to this body, mind, and intellect. And guess what? When it does, it forgets its true nature. And its true nature is purity, it's peace, it's compassion, it's love, it's integrity, it's honesty. All of these things come from soul energy. But because the soul has forgotten, and that's who we are, we've started to identify ourselves with more material aspects. Material aspects, which is, again, the body, the mind, the intellect. And these material aspects, which all have cells and they're all doing their own jobs, remember, even when we're sleeping, our cells are doing their own jobs, right? So our heart keeps beating, our digestion is still working, we sleep if the mind is peaceful, of course. But all of those things don't take us to be consciously involved. I'm doing this. Yet it is soul energy that is helping everything operate. So in that way, now this is the soul coming through one person. So my soul coming through myself, and yours will come through you. And all of us have a shared energy in that space. So all of those consistent high level vibration energies of peace, compassion, love, integrity, honesty, all of those things, purity, all of those things are a shared experience for us all. And that comes from a pure consciousness energy. And remember, energy cannot be made or destroyed, it's always there. Now we've got these different aspects. I can choose, I as the soul can choose to work from, this is how I feel about myself, this is how I am feeling, and I can choose to detach from that identification with those other pieces to understand I am seeing that my mind is restless. I am seeing that my body is in pain. I am seeing that I'm judgmental in this situation. I am choosing to do this. But I can be choosing to do this from my human mind, or I can choose to do it from my soul level. And from the soul level, there is perfection. There is such a rightness about the experience in terms of how it feels, how we speak, and how we interact with each other. And so I would love for you to spend 5 minutes after this video to just see if you can connect with your soul, which is directing every thought, every word, every action, if we are mindfully aware of it. So today I also wanted to finish with this quotation to hopefully help you too. This is by Yogi Bhajan, and this quotation says, "The physical body is a temple. Take care of it. The mind is energy. Regulate it. The soul is the projection. Represent it. all knowledge is false if the soul is not experienced in the body. That's deep. I hope that you understand this. So again, let's take it apart just before I end this video. The physical body is a temple. Take care of it. So we know that the physical body needs good nutrition, healthy nutrition, and some people will instinctively reach for junk food. Some people will not want to exercise or not be able to exercise. And this taking care of it is to be aware of we've got physical exercise needs for our body to stay healthy. We've got food needs to stay healthy. We've got sleep needs that help it stay healthy. And that's all of the taking care of the body. It says the mind is energy, regulate it. So again, see this mindfulness idea of, do I focus on what's not right? And then where am I focusing and why? Or do I focus on what's right because it's also happening simultaneously? Do I have optimism? Do I have clarity? Do I have an intention to regulate this mind? Because if I don't, it'll just take off on its own and think whatever it wants and focus on whatever it wants. And it easily does that. And usually when we allow the mind to kind of run the show, then it will lean towards its habits and tendencies that are not always so healthy for us. It's not regulated. It is running unregulated. Okay, so that's the energy of the mind. The soul is the projection. Represent it. The soul, I am the soul. I am the projection, right? So I have the power to regulate my mind. I have the power to regulate my body. I have the power to take care of my body as a temple, as this quotation says. But I have that power of representing myself in my best way, with my best energy, with my best intentions and focus, right? So I have that power to represent myself in the way I choose to. And then finally, of course, it says, all knowledge is false if the soul is not experienced in the body. So this is the interesting thing, right? So if our soul does not take the reins to direct the rest of us, the rest of what is ours, it's what we are taking care of, right? We are taking care of our minds. We are taking care of this body, this intellect. And it's only if the soul is recognizing that you actually see it experienced in the body. And when you experience it in the body, it's a fantastic alignment. When it's kind of denied, it enjoys the ride. It definitely enjoys the ride of how the body is feeling and having some fun or eating some fun food or taking it easy, lazing around, whichever way, whatever is fun for you. And the mind enjoys getting lost in thoughts and really busy or really not busy, right? If we go into a laziness space, right? So soul is enjoying all of it. It's just providing the energy for it. But until we recognize we're the soul, we won't provide the energy to direct our mind and body and our intellect in the way that's most beneficial for us. So I leave you with those thoughts today. I hope that you will spend time to process it. Maybe watch the video a couple of times to hear these thoughts again. And I wish you a fabulous day ahead. I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.